have the 392 Jeep Wrangler. And what does that mean? Well, this is the king of all Wranglers that have ever been made in history. There's been a lot of Wranglers made, but this is the ultimate Wrangler. And the reason why, and why that 392 badge is so special on this unit specifically, is because under the hood, we finally have a V8 motor, something that Jeep owners have been asking for forever. And the Jeep OEM has finally given us a V8 motor with 470 horsepower. So I'm Devin from the Hickman Automotive Group, and today we're gonna look at this specific model and why the 392 is so special and why you are gonna want one in your driveway. For years, enthusiasts have been begging Jeep to put a V8 in the Wrangler, and Jeep hasn't done it, citing emissions and fuel economy regulations, but now the Wrangler is facing some stiff competition in the off-road segment. So Jeep has finally given enthusiasts what they want in the Wrangler, a V8. And not only just a V8, but a 6.4 liter Hemi V8 with 470 horsepower, and it's a Rubicon model, which maximizes the off-road capabilities. Just by looking at the Wrangler 392 from the outside, you can't really tell that it's a 392 or a special unit. It looks a lot like the other Wranglers on the road and the Jeep Gladiator as well, which is the pickup version. So I'm not gonna go over every detail that we see because there is a lot of similarities. Now this is a Rubicon package on this 392, which means we get some extra off-road goodies as well with this unit. So let's dive in and see exactly why the 392 badge and that Rubicon badge is so special. So what's so special about that 392 again is that engine. Finally, a V8 in a Jeep Wrangler from OEM. Enthusiasts have been asking for this for years, and aftermarket companies have been doing engine swaps for years, but Jeep has never really put a V8 in a Wrangler. All right, looking under the hood here now, we'll see that 6.4 liter Hemi V8. Now this is not the first time a Wrangler had a V8 in it. Back in the 1970s, there was a Wrangler CJ that had a V8 motor. Now that only produced 150 horsepower. This V8 is producing 470 horsepower, like we said. Now this Hemi engine is not the supercharged version that we find in the Demon and the Hellcat. This is just the SRT V8 Hemi. Still puts a lot of power down for that all-wheel drive system in a Wrangler, and it sounds fantastic. This unit having a big engine means we need a lot of air pumped into that engine to make sure it's working properly so we can get all that power that it can produce. And Jeep has that covered. We'll see a giant airflow here that hooks up to the hood scoop that is functional up top. We have a large grille up front that is all functional. We'll also see that Jeep has fitted a hydro guide system in here as well on the hood and in the grille system as well. What that means is that when you're off-roading and you're in water, forging through water, no water is going to get into the engine and damage it, and it produces all the power. So this system actually separates any water droplets and moisture into air and water, and separates the water out and keeps the air going to the motor. With that big engine and all the power that we have, that means this Wrangler can go from 0 to 100 in the low 4-second mark. And the quarter mile is done in the low 12s. That's sports car level territory. Remember, this is a fully off-road capable vehicle. The funny thing is though, this vehicle with all that power and all the quick acceleration is only limited to a top speed of 180 kilometers an hour digitally, and that is because of these tires right here. The all-terrain tires are not really rated for any more higher than that, so this vehicle is mostly about acceleration than it is about top speed on the highway. All right, looking at these tires here, as you can see, they are huge. They are bigger than the standard tires you'd get on a normal Rubicon with the V6 engine. With these big off-road tires, obviously you can go a lot of places, but these are part of the Recon package, which is an add-on to the 392, coming in at a higher price, but it does give you a lot of good off-road capability and a lot of off-road goodies, which I'll touch on in a second. One of those off-road goodies is the Beadlock wheels and rims that we see here, which look fantastic. What is Beadlock? What that means is that this rim and tire are actually conjoined together and cannot come apart unless you take off one of these beads. That's great for off-roading in extreme circumstances where your tire cannot leave the rim as normal tires would if in extreme circumstances. So what else is included in that Recon package that we talked about earlier for the off-road goodies? Well, the 392 is already raised 2 inches higher than the standard V6 Wrangler. Now the Recon package also gives you an extra 1.5 inches of ground clearance on top of that 2 inches. So this vehicle right now is 3.5 inches in suspension travel higher than it would be for the Wrangler V6. So this vehicle with its power and the extra ground clearance can literally go anywhere you want. Other interesting items about the 392, for one, is that you can see the wheels have a sort of bronze color to them. That is unique to the 392. And that's because bronze is the 392's brand color. And several accents and trim pieces are finished in bronze. For instance, up front, you'll see the tow hooks. They are all finished in bronze, and the badging with the vehicle on the Jeep side with the Trail Rider badge, it's all done in bronze to celebrate the fact that this is a 392. One of the different things that the Jeep 392 has going for it, compared to other Chrysler and Jeep products and Dodge products that have a big special motor in it, is that they're pretty flashy. This Wrangler is actually a lot like a sleeper. If you didn't know to look for the bronze accents and the giant wheels and stuff like that, it almost looks like a normal Wrangler. The only real telling sign is the 392 right here on the hood. Some people may like the sleeper look, other people like the bigger and flashy. All we do know is that if you're stopped at a red light and that turns green, you can certainly turn heads from the sound and the acceleration that this vehicle can make. Now, one spec that the 392 does have to let others know that it has some power is when you hear the quad exhausts around the back that are unique to the 392 model. They're sort of hidden. They're not out in your face like you see in some performance cars. Instead, they are kind of point down and you can miss those. But that's mostly for the off-road capabilities of the vehicle. Even though they might not be showy in your face, you can certainly hear them and they sound so good. So let's take another listen to the 392 exhaust. All right, so inside the 392 Wrangler, it is again pretty subtle in here that you're in such a special unit with the V8 motor again. We do have some bronze stitching around the steering wheel, in the seats, in the dash here as well, on our gear shifter, the handbrake, all that has some bronze stitching, which is a nice aspect to have, but there really isn't a lot of things that say that it's a 392. On the seats, we do have Rubicon 392 stitched into them, which is a nice little touch as well. All the interior though is pretty standard Wrangler stuff, which is not a bad thing. I really like the ruggedness and how they could still fit a lot of technology into a Wrangler interior while giving you that utility feel that it needs as well. So one thing to note here with the 392 is that it's 4-wheel drive only. So you cannot stick it in rear-wheel drive and do some massive Wrangler burnouts. It's 4-wheel drive only, and that can be seen here on our shifter. We have 4 low and 4 high here that we can change into. We also have our front and rear differential locks as well, because this is a Rubicon and an off-road package. So again, with this just being a Wrangler, which means you get to do Wrangler things, and the best thing that a Wrangler could do is that the doors can come off and this roof can come off as well. This is a hardtop roof in this model, but all of it can come off for an open door, open air experience while you're listening to that loud V8 being pumped out behind you and in front of you, which is a great feeling. Another awesome thing about the Jeep interiors is all the little Easter eggs that you can find in here. I know it's not special to the 392, but I do like it. So over there on the windshield, we do have a little Jeep going up the windshield. On our shifter here, we do have an old wheelies Jeep as well. If we look at our off-road button here, you can see that that's a little Jeep. And they even go to the detail of giving you a Jeep icon for your air recirculating instead of just the traditional standard icon that a lot of cars have with the vehicle. So that was really cool to find a little Jeep logo there as well. If you're into Wranglers, this is an amazing thing, truthfully. When you're not flooring it, it does feel a lot like a regular Wrangler. I think the V8 provides a little bit more stability, and it just gives you a little bit more confidence. The sound you get when you're driving from the inside is amazing. So here we have the 392 Wrangler, a sports car-like level performance with Jeep's off-road capability, all wrapped into one nice, beautiful looking package, and its OEM-backed warranty with that V8 engine pumping out all that power. So if you're interested in a small per mile vehicle like the 392, make sure you drop into Hickman Chrysler to take it for a test drive today.